This is Leadership Public School. We're going to be interviewing teachers about their favorite Halloween tradition. Our first teacher is going to be Miss McCarthy. Okay, so what's your favorite part of Halloween?
I think my favorite part of Halloween is how it can bring communities together. Like I remember when I was little going out and trick-or-treating and I would see all my neighbors and like everyone would get excited to see each other and talk to each other even if they didn't really do that outside of Halloween. And my mom taught in the neighborhood where we lived, and so when kids would come trick-or-treating, she'd get to see her own students like outside of school, and the kids loved it. They loved like getting to see their teacher's house. So I like the way it can kind of bring a community together sometimes.
Okay. What's the best costume you've ever worn?
Sorry.
Good?
I think it's good. Anyway, I was very proud of myself in middle school. I made my own costume. I was a Butterfinger. A couple of my friends and I were all candies, and I made myself a Butterfinger costume out of felt, and it was like the neckline was like a bite that had been taken out of the chocolate, and then I had the wrapper. It was like most of it. So it was kind of ugly, but I was proud because I had made it. I was also Snow White for a few years, which worked well because I look a lot like her. Very pale skin and dark hair.
What's the best costume you've seen?
Best costume I've ever seen. So growing up, my mom's best friend has twin daughters who are a couple years older than me, and I hung out with them, and I always felt like because they were twins, they could do really cool costumes together. I'm trying to think of a specific example right now, but they would do like little like puns and things like where they would be like things that pair up, and but they always seem to have the coolest costumes because they were twins. Like they could be a salt and pepper shaker, or like one was I feel like one was a chef one time, and the other one was what the chef was cooking or something like that. So they always had the coolest costumes because they could like play off of each other.
Have you ever seen a scary costume?
Oh, lots of scary costumes. I've seen lots of scary costumes. Some different ones are scary for different reasons. I mean, some of them are scary like, someone might be wearing a mask or makeup that's really scary, like it looks bloody or it looks like, evil in some way. And then some are scary just because it's like scary. Not that you would go outside your house wearing that scary. I don't like those kinds of scary costumes.
Okay. So what costume are you gonna wear this year?
No, I try to just build costumes out of like whatever's in my closet. I'm trying to think what I have that I can wear and make a costume out of. I feel like a couple of years ago I was a baseball player.
This is Leadership Public School. We're interviewing teachers, and this is Ms. Rollies. What's your favorite part of Halloween?
My favorite part of Halloween is smashing pumpkins. I love to smash pumpkins. It's my favorite part of Halloween.
What's the best type of costume you've worn?
The best costume that I ever wore was a Willy Wonka costume. And I lived in Southern California and I walked around in Hollywood dressed as Willy Wonka, and everybody wanted to take a picture with Willy Wonka.
What type of costume are you trying to wear?
This year I'm planning on probably being a caveman. Maybe Neanderthal. I don't know.
Have you seen any particular costume that has scared you?
Yes, I have. When I was a little boy, when I was 3, I was trick-or-treating at this house. I knocked on the door, and this guy opened up the door with this big wolf mask, and it had blinking red eyes. And I got scared like that. I got scared.
Fail! Alright, you can cut. Thank you. That didn't work. Okay, yeah, move the doll. Move the
I
doll.
don't think I know you, but...
Hi.
What's up?
Alright, so I'll move the doll again so I can see what the doll looked like when it was moving. You have it the wrong way. Move the doll.
What? Oh.
Move the doll one time. It was moving pretty much, so I was careful.
Oh, really? I didn't even know.
I know, you didn't notice what?
Yeah, I moved it, and then it was like... What?
Yes, we're interviewing teachers. This is Miss Victoria.
Okay.
What's your favorite part of Halloween?
Oh my goodness. My favorite part of Halloween is the creativity that people have with their costumes. Because especially when people go all out and they make like homemade stuff, they start sewing things together, and they're super creative, especially when it comes to their houses. That's really exciting. I like all the decorations and stuff.
What's the best type of costume you've worn?
That was creepy. Sorry. Best costume I've worn. Oh man, that's a hard question. There's too many costumes to go through. Can I do one from when I was a little kid?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I was a little kid, I got to my mom let me choose my costume, and I was like this rock star singer because ever since I was like 5, I'd always wanted to be a singer when I grew up. So I got to like make my own costume and stuff, making my hair crazy and everything.
What type of costume are you planning for this year?
So my boyfriend and I are trying, but you know how adults are when they're busy and stuff. We're trying to get our costume to be Phantom of the Opera. So he would be the Phantom and I would be Christine. Yes.
Is there any type of costume that has scared you?
Hell yeah! Anything that's like Ju-on, like the Ring, anything that looks like anything that's possessed by the devil, yeah.
Possessed by the devil!
Hooker! Oh, kick you, Mario!
Thanks for coming. Thanks for playing.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, they set me up for
Did you see
it.
the doll movie?
Yeah?
Yeah, the doll movie.
That's why I said that shit's creepy. I wasn't scared by the doll.
Thank you.
Yeah. So like, okay.
You did great. Tell teachers about this. This is Leadership Public School. We're interviewing some teachers about Halloween traditions. This is Miss Chen.
Hello.
Hi. What's your favorite part of Halloween?
My favorite part of Halloween is the candy part.
What's the best type of costume you've worn?
Oh man. Well, before I became a teacher, I wanted to be a lawyer, and when I was in, I think maybe high school, I dressed up as Marsha Clark, who was one of the lawyers in the O.J. Simpson trial, which was happening at that time. And I thought it was really nerdy, but I thought it was really cool.
What type of costume are you planning for this year?
Good question. Because I have a child this Halloween, my costume is probably just going to be escorting him around to go trick-or-treating, and he's going to be a skunk. So I'm just going to be a mama skunk, I guess.
Is there any particular costume that you've ever been terrified of?
Clowns, but yeah.
Clown!
Oh my god!
Hey.
Jesus, so
Thank you for playing. It was mostly to scare you.
I apologize.
terrifying!
Did you see the doll movie?
Yes, I did see the doll movie. Did you see that I saw it? I was like,
That's so cool.
I just was like, oh, they did like a Halloween-y kind of a thing, and the doll was like moving around.
Okay,
I so
This is Leadership School. We're interviewing some teachers about Halloween. This is Miss Wilbur. Hi. First question. What's your favorite part of Halloween?
My favorite part of Halloween is it was a big tradition in my house when my mom, all the kids used to come to our house, and my mom made a big cauldron of like hot cider, and she would hand it out to everyone. So it was like a big family tradition, and everyone would come over to our house.
Okay. What's the best type of costume you've worn?
One time when I was in 5th grade, I took a plastic bag. I stepped into a plastic bag and filled it with little balloons, and I was a bag of jelly beans. But I couldn't sit down because the balloons were hot.
Are you planning to wear a costume this year?
I probably will, but I don't know yet. I
You
don't
don't know
know.
what type of costume you're gonna wear?
Don't know. Maybe my husband and I will go something together, but I have to ask him.
Is there any costume that has recently terrified you?
I don't like masks at all. they really scare me because you don't know who's behind the mask. Any type of mask I don't like.
Oh.
Thank you for coming.
This is the third teacher experience that I actually have for a class. So this is.
Oh my god, I feel like I'm not breathing right now.
Quick question. Did you see the doll moving?
I did. I thought, I looked at it out of the corner of my eye. I thought it was a mirror showing. Oh my gosh. How was the doll moving?
I have this thing.
Whose idea was this?
Alfredo, it was Ivan.
Thank you.
That's crazy.
You can't tell anything about
I'm not gonna. I won't.
Okay. What's the best costume you've ever worn? Yeah, sorry. Good? I think it's good. Anyway.
Have you ever seen a scary costume?
Oh, lots of scary ones. I've seen a lot and make a costume out of. I feel like a couple years ago I was a baseball player.
Yes, I have. When I was a little boy, when I was 3, I was trick-or-treating at this house. I knocked on the door, and this guy opened up the door with this big wolf mask, and it had blinking red eyes. And I got scared like that. I got scared.
Alright, you can cut.
Thank you very much.
That didn't work.
That's all creepy. Sorry. Best costume possessed by the devil? Yeah.
Possessed by the devil!
Hooker! I'm gonna kick you! Who are you?
Clowns, but
Clown!
Oh my god! Who is that? Jesus, so
Thank you for playing. It was mostly to scare you.
I
terrifying!
Did you see the doll moving?
Yes, I did see the doll moving.
All they really scare me because you don't know who's behind the mask. Any type of mask I don't like.
Oh.
Thank you for coming.
The third teacher.
Listen to me.